Hey V450 fans, I just wanted to do a little video about the electronic setup for the Walkera V450D01, which uses the 2702V RX. What I got here is some DS410M servos and an ICE 50, and I just want to show you some basic tips and setup with, I guess you could say routines, but just some basic things here. So let's bind up. First thing we'll do, get the RX turned on. Alright, so we're in. Now the first thing I want to show you, when you get the servos, you can actually do most of the setup on the servos outside of the helicopter. It's just easier to do. This is something I've done, building a few different helis. You can do it any way you want. This is just one way to use a metal straight edge. Get the arms centered at half stick. And of course, using no trim or sub trim, I'm not going to be able to get a perfect centered servo arm, but that's okay because it'll still work that way. You might get an extra degree in positive on the positive direction than you will in the negative direction, but for the V450, I'm not going to sweat it. Just want to get this thing together and get it working right, and it's not a huge deal. I mean, there's some 3-axis gyros that allow you to use some sub trim within the RX. The Walkera is it's a no frills 3-axis receiver for $130. It really doesn't have much features in that regard. So you got to take what you can get. And the other thing I wanted to show you was, if you have an old swash plate, what you could do is you could take the balls off the two front, which would be the aileron and the pitch balls, and put them on the servo arms. They'll extend the geometry for the arm by a few millimeters. And what it'll do is it'll get you a straight shot from the servo arm to the swash plate. Now if you use in the back, in the elevator servo, you can use the smaller ball. And if you do on the front, aileron and pitch, you're going to get an arm that's skewed back a little bit. And it's just not going to line up. You can do better. If you have that extra part, it's an easy thing to do. The other thing is 10 millimeters on center is what you want as far as a spacing. I don't know if you can see that. The DS4s come with a hull pre-drilled 13 and 16 millimeters. The 13 millimeter hull is for the 450 Pro, and that head has a lot more movement than the V450D01's head. Even though it's flybarless, it just does not have that kind of range. And what you're going to do is, if you put the ball in at 13 millimeters or even 16, you're going to get a whole bunch more movement than you would at 10 millimeters, and it's just going to cause all kinds of problems. Basically, you want to duplicate, when you upgrade the servos, you want to just duplicate the stock setup, and with the added benefit of having better torque and better speed servos. So that's one trick you can do. Using those arms, you can see they stick out more, and they're definitely you got to use some glue. You want to get them in there straight, and you want to get them in there even. The other thing I guess you could show you is the difference between the stock servos and some of the better mid-grade, upper grade servos is you're going to get more sensitivity and movement and a lot less jumpy movement. You can see, 2702 is not like the Beast X gives you a whole bunch of movement for a little bit of movement on the RX, but you can see that it's pretty accurate, it's pretty sensitive, and the servos, they're just a whole lot better than what Walkera gives you. I don't even know what they were thinking when they put those servos in this helicopter, but some people like them, and that's fine too. And basically that's it. I mean, with everything here, I'm just going to throw these inside the helicopter. They're already been pre-set up because they were in there before. But instead of taking a whole bunch of pictures and showing you guys and typing it out, I figured I'd show you guys on a video. Again, DS410Ms use the DS4 servo arms. You want to cut in 10 millimeters on center from center screw to center of the hole. You want to drill a hole in that arm. You want to use the extended balls from a V450D01 swash plate for the front aileron and pitch servos. For the rear, you can use the stock shorter ball. It's no problem because the rear somehow, someway lines up. What's going on is the DS410M, even though the dimensions are the same exact as stock, the arm is actually offset in more than the stock servos. So that throws the geometry off. And, if you want to do it right, there's many ways to skin a cat, but that was one way I found. It was easy and it didn't cost anything. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and talk to you soon. Bye.